Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where the gnomes live. This is Sharon Oyella, and today we're doing a very quick project. I'm going to show you how I put together my little eyeballs inside these tiny little jars. Let's get started with the supplies list. The eyeballs themselves are called corsage pins, and you can see the name on the screen there. I got mine at Walmart in the florist section. You can get them on Amazon as well. Make sure that you get the round ones. As you can see on the screen, they come in two different shapes. And to cut your pins when you're all done painting them, you're going to need a pair of pliers that has the cutter part in it. So something that will be able to cut your pins. And whatever you want to put your eyeballs in, I found these little jars at the dollar store. They're called little fairy jars, little wish jars. And they come in different sizes. And I used 3 different sizes in this video. And just a helpful side note, each jar holds a number of pinheads. So the smallest one holds 2 pinheads. The middle one holds 4. And the largest one in my hand there holds 9 pinheads. And then you'll want to paint your eyeballs. I used craft acrylic paint, and I used blue, brown, and green. You can use any color of your choice, and then black for the pupil, of course. To draw in little veins, I used some red paint, and I'm sure you could use felt pens instead. Now, I did fill up all of my jars. You don't have to. It's not necessary to the project, but if you want to fill yours up, use some oil. I found baby oil in the dollar store. And to hold your pins while you're painting, you'll need styrofoam, or a pin cushion would work as well. Alright guys, all links and timestamps are in the pinned comment below. So with all that out of the way, let's get started. Alright, first step is to make sure that the pinhead you've chosen will fit inside the bottle that you've chosen. And then you'll line them up on your pin cushion and then use the back end of a paintbrush, just a small one, and swirl the color on there. So I just place it on top of the pinhead and swirl it around until I have a little circle of color. And once I got all that color on there, then I sped up the drying time with my hairdryer. And now we can dot on the pupil using the back end of a paintbrush again and black paint. Now you want to dry the first step, of course, because putting the pupil on there is just going to sit nicer if the paint underneath it is dry. I learned that by trial and error. And once I was done that one, then of course I dried that again with the hairdryer. Once they were dry, I added veins, you can see here. Now, if I would have looked at a picture online, I would have seen I did the veins backwards, but that's totally fine. So I just took a pin with red paint, and I'm going to pull them from the color back towards the eyeball, when it should have been done the opposite way. So if you look at pictures online, the lines should be coming from the stem up towards the colored part of the eye. But it doesn't really matter. These are just so tiny, and they're just going to sit in a jar, and they'll have some veins on them. Not a big deal. And one last note before I fill these up. Now you can see the little stem of the wire there is silver. Now I started painting them before I finished the video, and I didn't show that on video, but if you're worried about that silver stem there, you can paint them red. Okay, you can do that before you cut them or after you cut them, but I'll leave that up to you. It's not a big deal, but if you're looking really, really closely, you might be able to see that silver stem on those eyeballs. So the next step is to cut the stems off. Now you want to bring the pliers right up to the underside of the pin head so you get as much of the wire off as possible. And then to get the eyes to point the right direction so that the colors aren't lost within themselves, I'm going to use a pin and just pose them where I want them. And then if you want to add a little bit more of a creep factor, you can split the strands of yarn and stick those in there as well, and use a pin to get that where you want it. But it's not necessary to the project, and less is more. You don't want to have too much in there. And now we can fill it up with the oil. Make sure to tap the top of the glass with your finger when you think you're done filling it, because sometimes there's an air bubble that gets trapped in there, and you can stick a little bit more oil. Now before we put the cork in, some of these corks are really long. I would trim off almost half of that cork, because once you stick it in there, it's going to push the oil out. So you can see I took quite a bit off there. And now I'll push the cork in as far as it'll go, because I want this to seal up. And then I'll wipe the glass off, of course, because there will be a little bit of oil on the glass. And there we go. Creepy. But adorable at the same time. It's weird. Anyway, guys, that brings us to the end of another video. So this is part of the project that I'm working on right now. It's the pumpkin house, and I'm making this fun shaped shelf, and I'm going to be showing that in the very next video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.